Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to our study session. My name is Melly, and today I'm going to share with you guys my LET journey, or license for professional teachers journey. Yeah, I am currently reviewing now, and I just want to share you guys my, ano, ang tawag nito? Why? Ano ba yan? Tip of my tongue. Basta, I just want to share you guys my learning resources. So, yeah, some of you might don't have any access to internet no kasi may bayad, but at this juncture, um I can share it to you guys, but this is only for fair use. This is for educational purposes only. I don't gain from this one. Hindi ko nga alam kung may manunood dito, but I just want kung sino man makastumbled upon sa videos ko, and if this suits you, if you also wanna take the board exam, then this video is right for you. As of now, I'm going to talk about English. So, parang review lang to. And yeah, bale na pag-aralan ko na siya, but some of it are haven't. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Literary devices. So, in order to properly understand literature, you need a comprehension so-called literary devices. So, these are the ways. When you say literary devices, in my understanding, um, ano siya, it is being used by the writer, no, writer, and how he or she create his masterpiece. For example, wait lang. Mamaya na natin one by one yung literary devices, but I'm going to introduce you first the very most important in literary structures. First, we have the exposition. What is exposition? We have here a concrete definition, a comprehensive description and explanation of an idea or theory. So, bali dito ini-introduce, no? Ini-introduce kung sino yung mga tauhan, anong nangyayari, saan nagaganap, and so on and so forth. And then next, we have the climax. So, the turning point or high point in a plot. So, dito, maybe may mag-aaway, maybe may sikretong mabubunyag, that is the climax. But before we reach the climax, we have the rising action. So, siguro, sabihin natin, gamitin natin yung example natin na may sikretong mabubunyag. So, pwedeng yung rising action is na natagpuan yung cellphone, o diba? Natagpuan yung cellphone, no, nakita ng babae na may tumatawag or may message sa kanya, tinatawag yung asawa niya or yung husband niya na mahal or ano ba dyan, so on so forth. So that is a rising action. Parang papunta na sa climax. Yung climax is yung nag-aaway na yung mga characters natin. Now, when it comes to climax, kapag may climax na tayo, meron ding resolution. Diba? Nag-aaway na. Meron ding, at the end of it, is merong resolution. So this is the portion of a plot that reveals the final outcome. So, or anong conclusion. It's either magsistay ba si girl? For example, gamitin natin yung example. Is either, di ba yung climax? Masyado ba ako mabilis? Di ba yung climax is nag-aaway yung mag-asawa? Yung conclusion or denouement, pareho lang yan. Pareho lang yung meaning. Resolution or denouement. Opposite siya na exposition, no? Kasi exposition is the beginning and then denouement is the end. Now, denouement, ito yung conclusion kung anong gagawin ng asawa. Is it magsistay siya or iiwan niya? So, that is a resolution. But before the resolution or the denouement, kung tawagin natin, meron tayong falling action. So, yung falling action might be yung asawang lalaki, yung husband niya ay nagsumusuyo sa kanya, di ba? That is the falling action. Kasi nag-away na, di ba? So, ang gagawin ni Guy is susuyuin niya yung asawa niya. And then, yeah. Bakit yan yung ginagamit natin? Well, we are in the Philippines. Make use to that. Kasi, if makikita nyo halos sa mga internet or sa television natin, it's all about love, 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 love. Kahit yung Lavender Fields, di ba? Ano pa? Batang Quiapo. Hindi ako updated sa GMA. Basta yun ang mga examples natin, di ba? Usually, it's all about love, romance, kasi mahilig tayo sa mga telenovelas galing sa Espanya. Anyway, that is the literary structure. Ano yung literary structure? Lagi lang natin tatandaan yung exposition, climax, and denouement. Ma'am, pareho ba yung expository, at saka exposition? I think they are the same. Yeah, expository. Ito yung hindi kailangan ng opinion. Expository, pag may ma-encounter kayo na expository, same siya ng spelling, expository. So when you say expository, wala siyang opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wala siyang halong opinion, just pure facts and pure statements kung ano nangyayari. That is the literary structures. Again, exposition, climax, and denouement. Denouement is same as resolution. Now, let's move on to the literary components. Ilan na ba yung minutes na na-consume natin? Oh, that's 5 minutes. So, I'll try my best to finish this as soon as possible, no? Kasi minsan talaga kapag hindi ako nasa tamang kondisyon, natatagalan ako kasi ina-absorb ko pa yung topic na pinag-uusapan natin. Now, again, literary components, kung may structure tayo, meron tayong mga components or the elements of the literary. So, genre, alam na natin yung genre. Hindi siya genre, ha? Yun yung pagbasa ko noon nung bata pa ako, genre. But it's actually genre. So, a particular kind of style or of art or literature. So, ito yung genre na horror, comedy, action, thriller. So, tatanungin ka ng kadate mo, anong movie genre ang gusto mo? Hindi yung he's not asking you if anong title or anong class, anong movie yung gusto mo. It's actually the specific type of movie na gusto mo. So, it's horror. Ako mahilig ako sa romance at saka sa comedy. And also, mahilig din ako sa animation. So, yan. Kahit Cinderella, panoorin natin, manunood ako. So, ganun. So, yan. That is genre. We also have style. So, magkaiba yung genre at style. So, style is the way of writing. Genre is art. Patayan ba? Love ba? Nakakakilabot ba? Nakakatawa ba? Ito naman sa style is the way you write, no? Persuasive, narrative, and descriptive. Actually, narrative, we also have informative. Ano pa? Persuasive, writing or speaking or doing something. Ayan, the manner. So, style. Yan yung style. Writing style is either the writer wants to persuade you, kung may gusto siyang i-imply sa iyo na ito dapat nang gawin, so on so forth. Kung narrative naman, kung may nagsi-storytelling, unang panahon, ganyan, hanggang sa dulo ng story, that is narrative. When you say descriptive naman, you're just merely describing it. Ano yung itsura ng sun, for example. Ano yung itsura ng sun? Paano nakakapunta ang init patungo dito from the sun to the earth? Diba? Yun ang descriptive. Now, move on to setting. Setting naman, when you say setting, that is the place. Wala nang ibang iisipan ng setting. It's the time and place. But mostly a place yan. No? So, for example, setting natin is sa England. Ayan, England. Or setting niya is medieval times or ancient times, Renaissance time, Baroque times, or pre-colonial time. That is a setting. No? Spanish period. Yun. That is a setting. 166 AD. Again, place and time or positional, prepositional ang tawag dyan sa grammar. Yeah, that is the setting or the positional o kung saan sinasabi ng writer sa inyo kung anong time at saka anong place. Pwedeng time or place, but pwede din both. So, next, we have the plot. So, ito yung hinihintay ng mga readers. No? Ano yung plot twist? Or ano yung gist ng story? So, this is the sequence of incidents or events of which story is composed. So, ito yung inaabangan. When I say main idea or gist, ito yung mag-change ng kasunod na story. For example, dito na part sa una is peaceful, tapos may nangyari na plot. Yung plot twist is sige, sabihin natin na yung plot twist, anak pala siya ng mafia boss. Para example natin yung Batang Quiapo. Namuhay si Tanggol na, 'di ba? Namuhay si Tanggol na mahirap. Ngayon nalaman niya dito na part sa gitna, nalaman niya na anak pala siya ng isang Montenegro, isang mafia boss. So the rest of the story, the rest of the ending of the story is nag-change na. Yun ang plot, nag-change yung plot, no? Nagbago ang, so that's the sequence of incidents. Yung unang plot, ganito yung plot, tapos sa middle, ganito yung plot niya, nag-aalaman na kung sino yung tunay na anak, tapos the rest is iba naman. So that is the plot. Dito naman tayo sa theme. Nakikita nyo ba yung, may na-tap ako, ayan, co-pilot, wala naman akong internet. So, hindi ko siya masyadong ma-zoom, no? Ito na lang, sige. Theme or tema sa Filipino. So, this is the main idea. When I say plot, is sequence, bale, yung, pangyayari, bawat eksena. Yung theme is the whole general idea ng movie or whole general ng literature. So, sorry, may nag-aaway sa kabila. Anyway, this is the theme or the main idea, no? For example, sa Batang Quiapo, it's all about, ang theme niya is all about love, friendship, and pwedeng revenge, no? Masasabi kong revenge kasi maghihiganti siya kay Rigor, ni Mang Rigor na malupitan siya since nung kabataan siya. So, yun yung tema. Ano ba ang tema ng, for example, anong theme ng, ano yun? The Last Leaf? Lumalabas yun sa LET exam. Ang tema dun is selfless, diba? Selfless in, nakalimutan ko yung kasunod. Basta selfless. And also, yung tema ng Romeo and Juliet, I think it's all about love and war. Yeah. So, yun. So, yan yung tema ha. Madali naman yan i-understand. Yung prologue naman tayo. So, magkaiba yung prologue at saka yung epilogue. Yan ha. Yung naka-highlight. Prologue at saka epilogue. Pro. Bali, nasa unahan yan. Before mo pa mabasa yung simula ng story. Before mo pa mabasa yung chapter 1. Ito ay speech or message at the start of a story that serve as introduction or prehistory to what is about to happen. So, bale, sineset nito yung mood or sineset nito yung mind mo kung ano nangyari sa story. And yung epilogue naman, ito yung bale, after happily ever after, ang section na at the end of the story that serve as a comment or an extension or conclusion that was happened earlier. For example, yung nabasa ko sa Wattpad noon, actually, high school pa ako nito. Yung prologue niya is, sa maalala ko lang, yung prologue niya is, bale, naghirap siya ng kanyang parents, sa kanyang parents, tapos, nag-aral siya ng mabuti, tapos nakapasok siya ng isang minimal wage na trabaho, na doon niya sinabi kung about sa family niya, sa current relationship niya, so on and so forth. Yung sa epilogue naman, yung sa prologue is yung current relationship niya, tapos na-meet niya si Guy, may na-meet siyang ganito. Tapos, at the end of the prologue, may parang question yung sa style ng nabasa ko. Parang kina-question niya kung tama ba yung decision niya, so on and so forth. Yung sa epilogue naman, ito yung last, diba? End of the story ito It's a comment or conclusion. So, yung sa epilogue na nabasa ko sa Wattpad is that happily ever after sila ng kanyang current relationship. Doon niya, yung bago niya relationship, hindi yung ex niya. She found the one. Nagkabuo sila ng pamilya, pumunta sila ng States, hindi States actually, it's another country, yun. So, that is an epilogue. Example lang yun ha. Epilogue is bale, example, 3 years later, ng ganon. So, ayan ha, that is the difference between prologue and epilogue. Lumalabas po to. So, you just have to understand. Next, we have flashback. Flashback, this is Literary device, literary device. Flashback is when when a character have a scene or have a memory earlier time. So, bali, for example, ngayon, no. Ano ba yung example na may flashback? Wala akong ibang tinutukan ngayon kundi Batang Quiapo. So, yung flashback, di ba? Sige. If you're familiar with Batang Quiapo, no, it's a Filipino teleserye. Prime time, no? Nag-flashback si Tanggol nung out of this moment. Si Tanggol at saka si Ramon, ang tutunay niyang ama, is nag-meet na. Ngayon, nagtatanong si Ramon kung mapapatawad siya ng kanyang anak na si Tanggol. Tapos, when Ramon asked that, Tanggol had a flashback. Naalala niya yung muntik na silang magpatayan dahil kay Monique, diba? Nag-flashback yung memories niya noon. So that is a flashback. Ngayon, the question is, will that flashback affect the rest of the story or not? Depende na yan sa writer. Okay? That is the flashback or alaala na maaring ma-distort ang bagong or the flow ng storya. Synopsis naman, when you say synopsis, try nyo i-search, try kayo mag-search sa Google ng movie, kahit isang movie lang. Tapos, try nyo sa HMD, IMBD, ano yung tawag na website, makikita nyo doon, mayroong picture ng movie, tapos synopsis. When you say synopsis, that is summary actually. Makikita nyo doon, every movie naman merong synopsis, merong summary. Sinabi doon na, this, blah, 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 encountered, encountered, ano kaya ang kapalaran ni Actually, it will not give you the whole story. Parang bits lang. Hindi pwedeng sabihin yung whole story, Diyos ko po. Brief summary lang para meron kang alam kung ano yung flow ng story, no? And then next, we have the conflict. So ito yung clash of action. Ito yung pagbabangayan, no? Goals in the plot of story or drama. Pagbabangayan or clash. Dialogue naman, ang dialogue at saka monologue, okay magkaiba po to. Ang dialogue at saka monologue ay magkaiba. Yung dialogue, daya, didactic or something like that. Daya is two. More than two, okay? So, actually more than two or two lang. Basta dialogue, for example, Juan, ako si Juan. Sabi ni Juan, Pedro, saan ka ba nanggaling? Makita niyo dyan, di ba? Juan. Tapos, colon. Tapos, Pedro, saan ka ba nanggaling? Tapos, sasabihin ni Pedro, nandun nakalagay yung pangalan ni Pedro. Bale, makikita mo yung conversation ba between two characters. Sa monologue naman, mono, ano bang ibang word na may mono? Monotheism, meaning isa lang yung Diyos. Yung monologue, log is something like conversation. Monologue, it's like character talking to oneself or itself. For example, may mabasa kayo doon na, naku po, yung Tanggol na lang, sabi ni Tanggol na, ewan ko ba kung mapapatawad ko itong taong na to, something like that. Matagal na, sabihin na natin i-rephrase ko lang yung mga words. Matagal na kami nagbabangayan. Di ko alam na siya pala yung tunay kong ama. Sa utak lang niya yan sinasabi. So that is monologue, talking to oneself. Dramatic monologue naman, it is long speeches given by a single character in a literary work, often revealing their deepest thoughts and the motives behind their actions. So, it's same, it is talking to oneself, pero dramatic lang. When you say dramatic, mas mahaba. Matagal na ako nagtitimpi sa'yo. Hindi na kaaya-aya yung mga ginagawa mo sa akin. Dugot pawis ko. Medyo dramatic. The word dramatic, pero nagsasalita sa sarili. Okay? That is, i-insert mo lang yung dramatic. Mahahaba yung salita. Okay? Another one is we have narrator. So, alam niyo naman yung narrator, it is the one who tells the story. Example niyan is, once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a princess. Yan. Siya yung narrator. Hindi siya yung mismong character. Hindi siya kasali sa story. Narrator lang siya. No? So, yan. Next, we have omniscient narrator. So the story is told by an all-knowing person or thing who is free to tell us anything, including what the characters are thinking or feeling and why they act as they do. Okay. So omniscient narrator, kadalasan nakikita nyo to sa Wattpad. Okay? Kadalasan nakikita nyo to sa Wattpad. Bale, this is the POV. Correct me if I'm wrong, mga Wattpad readers, but this is the POV. For example, kalimutan ko ng mga ibang Wattpad. High school pa ako nagbabasa eh. Graduate na ako ngayon. For example, si Taylor. Taylor ang pangalan ng lalaki. So, sasabihin niya, how do I tell her that ano ba itong mga example ko? How do I tell her that I love her? She's been acting weird. So, point of view niya yon. Iba naman yung point of view ni, sabihin natin, kay Bella. Taylor, Bella. Sige, sabihin natin Bella. Taylor has been acting weird this few weeks. I wonder what she's thinking about. Did I do something? Ganun. This is the omniscient narrator. It's been 10 days since he didn't went to my house. That is the omniscient narrator. So magkaiba po yun Narrator is yung nag-narrate ng whole story versus omniscient is yung nag-share ng kanyang POV or siya yung character na nilalagay dun yung feeling niya at yung mga current situation. That is omniscient narrator. Wait lang, ilang hours na? 21 minutes na. Next, we have reliable narrator. If the one telling the story truthfully explains and reveals all that happens, then they are reliable. Okay. So, reliable narrator. The one telling the story truthfully explains and reveals all that happens, and they are reliable. Okay. It's still a narrator. When you say a narrator, it's telling the story, diba? Pero masasabi mong reliable narrator siya when nandun sa literature, nandun sa part ng story is nagnanarrate siya ng totoong istorya. For example, correct me if I'm wrong. For example, si Tendeng sa Batang Quiapo. Okay, wala akong may example ng literature kasi wala pa akong na-open na literature so far kasi nasa pre-colonial pa yung notes ko. Again let's go back to the Batang Quiapo. Tindeng is the lola or the grandmother of Tanggol. Now, Tindeng had a narrate part where he tells about the backstory kung ano talagang nangyari sa kanyang anak, which is mama or ina ni Tanggol, kung ano bang totoong nangyari o bakit nabuo si Tanggol. Noon, sinabi niya na hindi naman talaga tunay na anak si Tanggol ni Rigor, anak siya ng isang mafia boss, na ni-rape ang nanay niya, ganun, so on and so forth. So that is, she's telling the story, the whole story, truthfully. And now, currently, sa Batang Quiapo is, malalaman na din natin na si Tindeng ay actually na-rape din ng isang politiko na Guerrero, so on and so forth. So that is a reliable narrator when the narrator is telling the truth, reliable truth of the story, hindi yung surface lang, the behind the scene yung niya. Next, we have the unreliable narrator. So ito naman if the one telling the story is withholding information or the information is biased. Unreliable, biased po, opinionated, so they are unreliable. So for example, mga villain, mga kontrabida, iba yung mindset nila ba? Iba yung POV nila. At tayong mga audience, tayong mga readers, alam natin yung nagaganap na mali yung iniisip ng narrator na ito or ng character ito. So that is unreliable or biased narrate. So, ayan, we have the point of view. So, meron tayong three, di ba? Three different types of point of view. This is the angle of vision or point of view ba? Kung yung kwento ko. Kwento ko, iba yung kwento ko, iba din yung kwento mo. Kwento mo yan, that is your point of view. This is my kwento, this is my point of view. So yeah, that is different. Now, we have the first person point of view. This is told by one of its characters. So, alam naman natin kapag point of view, first point of view, gumagamit ng I or we. Example, I am not your average type of person. That is the first point of view, first person. Second person naman is yung gumagamit ng you. Bale, example, ako. The story is told a narrator which is often protagonist itself using the you. You are often told to listen to adults when you are a child. Well, what if you discovered that they have been lying to you all this time? Diba? So, bale, someone is talking about the character. Ikaw. You are often told to listen to adults when you are a child. Then, the third person naman is ito yung gumagamit ng wait lang. Bale, the one who is narrating or the one who is sharing the point of view is just an observant of the story. For example, the story is told as someone observing the story unfold. Often, this narrator knows what different characters think, feel, or see. Example, Max was walking down the stairs and grabbed his car keys. His mind was racing with fear as he knew that today was going to be the day he was to die. So he's using a name. He's describing the character. So, laganap to sa Wattpad, okay? For example, ito yung example. Max was walking down the stairs. Bale, parang pinipaint ng writer sa utak mo na si Max ay pababa sa hagdanan. Kinuha yung keys niya, pero makikita mo sa kanyang itsura na parang nagmamadali siya. Kasi alam niya na mamamatay siya ngayong araw na yan. So yan pinipaint ng writer mismo. Napakagaling, no? This is a third person point of view. Yan. Hindi si Max ang nagsasalita, hindi din someone sa character na nagsasalita, kundi third person. Bali, gumagamit na siya ng names dito. Okay, that is for the point of view. Again, first point of view, gumagamit ng I or we. I was walking down the road. I was walking down the road when I saw a young man looking at me. Uy, ano na pala yun? Hold-upper na pala yun. Number 2, the second person point of view is like, you are beautiful. You are intelligent. You are who you are. Yun. So, yeah. Third person naman is, Belle was walking down the aisle with her white wedding dress. When she looked behind, she found blood all around the place and dead people piled up to each other. Uy! That is a third person point of view. Next, let's move on, no? Tumatagal. Yun ang ayaw ko eh. Tumatagal tayo pag mayroon pang achuchu. Next, we have the protagonist. So, magkaiba yung protagonist at antagonist. Okay, ha? When you say pro, this is protagonist, this is the main character. Yung anta, para siyang anta, siya yung kalaban ng protagonist or bida. Simple as that. Round character naman, these are characters with many different character traits which can develop and change over the course of the story. So, round character, bale, may, let's just say, round character is, meron siyang development, personal development along the story. For example, sige, gamitin natin yung Twilight, no? Twilight, yung Campbell at saka ni Edward. Now, sa round character, masasabi kong si Leslie bang pangalan doon? yung isa sa mga vampire na kasama ni Dr. Cullen, isa sa mga adopted child niya na babae, na partner ng yung lalaking vampire na napakamatikas yung katawan. So yun, yung una, masasabi nating round character siya. Why? Because her character at that time, yung nag-meet sila ni Bella, is hindi maganda. Hindi maganda yung pakikitungo niya kay Bella. But later part ng istorya, naging okay na sila nung time na pinanganak na si Renesmee. Kasi gusto kasi niyang magkaanak, pero hindi na magkakaanak ng isang vampire kasi wala na silang life. They're actually bloodless. And yes, bloodless. So yun, hindi siya makakaanak kasi they're already dead, by the way. And yeah, nabubuhay na lang sila sa dugo na inom nila. So ayun, that is a round character. Meron siyang development along the story. Yung flat character naman, who is the same sort of person at the end of the story, at the beginning. So, ano bang halimbawa dyan? For example, si Dr. Cullen sa Twilight, diba flat character siya. Bakit? Hindi siya nag-change. Maganda ang pakikitungo niya kay Bella. Supportive siya kina Edward at saka kina Bella till the end of his life. Bakit? Namatay siya defending Edward and Bella. No? Defending the little family that they created. So that's the flat example of flat character. Round, there's this full circle. Flat is stagnant. Ganon. Ito naman tayo sa foil. Actually, first time ko ma-encounter tong word na foil sa literature. Foil is a person or thing that contrasts strongly with another and therefore makes the other qualities more obvious. Example daw dito is demons are foils to angels. The opposite one. Bale, the contrast, no? From the word contrast. Foil is, a demon is a foil to angel. Bale, if i-compare niyo yung angel at saka demon, they are very alike. Unalike, never going to change. Angel is angel. Demon is a demon. Ano pa ba ang ibang halimbawa? Strongly contrast, no? Contrast strongly and make other qualities more obvious. Example, si Edward at saka sige, sa Twilight, wala akong ibang mga example na literature. Wait. Romeo and Juliet. Are they foil to each other? Maybe, masasabi natin si Romeo, hindi isa siyang, diba? Ano tawag nun? Kung Capulet si wag na lang. Tataglan tayo. Basta foil is a contrast. May dalawang contrast. Or it's a character that contrasts the other, which creates a division or distinguish between the two characters. Next, we have the prose. Dito naman move on tayo sa prose. So, ito yung written or spoken language in its ordinary form without metrical structure or rhyme. Diba? Wala siyang structure or rhyme. Again written or spoken, walang metrical structure or rhyme. Example, this is how I speak, so this is how I write. So, ano yung halimbawa ng prose? Novel. That's it. Example yan ay novel. Okay, say hi kasi nagising na yung aking puppy. Kakaligo lang nito at kakatoothbrush lang kanina kasi may napatay siyang maliit na daga dun sa ilalim ng bed. So, very good, pero yun nga, tinutbrush ko agad. Anyway, sa rhyme naman tayo. So, this is correspondence of sound between words. So, alam naman natin yung ibig sabihin ng rhyme, no? Old, cold, no? Pagkasing, tunog. Dito naman tayo sa literary elements. Tapos na tayo sa literary components. No? Components ba yun? Components. Okay, I think based on this PDF, magkaiba yung components at saka elements. Elements, okay. Try natin i-discuss denotation. Excuse me. Denotation is the basic definition or dictionary meaning of a word. Denotation is yung denote is the meaning. Nasa grade 12 to. Oh my God, nakalimutan ko na. So when you denote something, you are giving the exact meaning of the word. So for example, the girl was blue. So literally painted blue as opposed to feeling down. Ayan. Yan yung denote. Kasi you have to denote something just for the reader to understand what are you trying to mean or what are you trying to say. So sinabi dito ng writer na, example, sinulat yung the girl was blue, tapos open and close parentheses, literally painted blue. For example, si Sadness sa Inside Out. Ganun po ang ibig sabihin ng kanyang sinulat dito na the girl was blue. Kasi kapag yung iba, pag mabasa ito, maaaring i-think nila na, oh, it's the girl was blue, meaning the girl is sad, diba? So yan, you can use denotation for you to clarify things. And when it comes to connotation naman, ito yung word suggests beyond its basic definition. For example, vintage might have a positive connotation, old and valuable, or di kaya may negative connotation siya na old and useless. So it depends on the connotation you're trying to say, positive or negative. Again, may dalawang ibig sabihin yan, positive and negative connotation. Ano ba ang positive and negative connotation ng ano ba? Positive and sabihin nyo yung positive and negative connotation ng Romeo and Juliet. Sige, Romeo and Juliet. Ano yung niya? Yung positive connotation. So, I will say na grabe yung pagmamahal nila sa isa't isa. And I can say also that I also have negative connotation, which is too dramatic, too OA, and tanga-tanga nilang dalawa. Diba? Kung naghintay lang siya. So, diba, that's a negative connotation, no? So, it's beyond basic definition. Sasabihin ng iba, it's all about love. Meron namang negative connotation. Okay? Anyway, let's move on to metaphor. Ayun na, magkaiba yung denotation. Denotation is the exact meaning or dictionary. Connotation naman is yung parang suggestion or opinion na base sa naiintindihan mo. So, may negative at positive. Dito naman tayo sa metaphor. Alam niyo naman to. It is like comparing something or comparing someone or an object, diba? Through a symbolic thing. For example, life is a highway. So, life is compared to a highway. The metaphor is comparing it to metaphor is comparing something without using the word like or as, no? Unlike sa simile, dito gumagamit siya ng like or as. Love is like a battlefield. Bakit? Maraming obstacles, no? Another, she is as sweet as an angel. Bakit? Natikman mo na ba yung angel? So, angel here is just a symbolic. Okay? Symbolism lang po yan. Battlefield is just a symbolism. Ang kaibahan na ng simile is gumagamit siya ng word na like at saka as or di kaya than. Meron pang iba, similar to. Similar to is pareho lang siya sa like. Resembles, pareho lang siya sa like. Seems, pareho lang din siyang love seems his love seems love seems a waste of time. Seems like a waste of time. Something like that. Speaking about symbolism, ito yung a thing or an object that represent or stand for something else. For example, a wedding ring. So, it symbolizes commitment. Ano pa? Symbolismo ng dove. It's about peace. Symbolism ng the red color. It's about love, anger, passion, or evil. Diba? So on, so that. Analogy naman, ito yung parang ratio sa mathematics. So, a partial likeness between two things that are compared. So, black is to white. As on is to off. Yung black is to white. On is to off. Yan. So, bale, both comparisons are quite opposite. Halimbawa, pwede namang opposite or same, no? Halimbawa, shampoo is to hair, toothpaste is to blank. Oh, ano yan? Is to teeth. So, that is analogy. Dito naman tayo sa imagery. So, visually descriptive or figurative language. Example dyan is, the autumn leaves are a blanket on the ground. Her lips tasted as sweet as sugar. Kapag pag makita nyo to sa item, sa question, you try to search for the choice. Kung meron bang simile. Kung walang simile, tapos merong imagery, that is imagery. Bale, pinipaint niya sa utak mo kung ano ang paano niya i-describe ang lips ng isang babae. So, sweet as sugar daw kasi he can't get off it. He's addicted to it. So, yan, nagka-diabetic. So, that is imagery. By the way, I have to share to you this. Meron pa tayong, okay, one by one ko na lang yung imagery, ha? Imagery, we have visual, so eyes. We have olfactory imagery, nose or smell. We have gustatory imagery, sa taste or taste buds. We also have tactile imagery, yung touch under our fingertips or sa skin natin, mararamdaman natin, that is tactile imagery. What else? We have the kinesthetic energy, so the movement or action. And also we have organic imagery. Bali, sa internal yan, internal sensation, yung nararamdaman mo internally. So, pwede butterflies in your stomach, hunger, or thirst, that is imagery. Allusion naman. So, first time ko din ma-encounter itong allusion, no? So, allusion is a reference explicit or implicit to something in previous literature or history. For example, chocolate is his kryptonite. Reference. Allusion is reference, no? Bali, nire-refer niya or it could be explicit or implicit, no, to something in previous literature. For example, yung chocolate, nire-refer niya sa kryptonite. Yung kryptonite is sa Superman, di ba? So, when you say kryptonite, yan yung weakness ni Superman. So, hindi pwede hindi pwedeng gamitin yung kryptonite kay Superman kasi yan yung parang allergic siya doon. Hindi naman allergic, it's like doon siya nanghihina. So, bali kapag kaaway ka ni Superman, siguro may nanonood na kaaway ni Superman dito, magdala ka ng kryptonite. Kasi, naglalatay, anong sound yan? Nanghihina siya dyan. So, that is, bali, chocolate is his kryptonite. Bali, this kryptonite is something, an element of something, or someone else literature, ni-refer lang niya. So, chocolate is his kryptonite, bale, that is his weakness. Allegory naman, ito yung interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. So, typically a moral or political one. For example, Animal Farm by George Orwell. This is an allegory representing the political situation in Soviet Russia. So, later on sa world literature, mababasa natin yan. Bakit yung ginawa ni George Orwell ng Animal Farm ay parang may halong politika, no? May halong moral, no? Mababasa natin yan. So, it is a story that can be interpreted or may hidden meaning. Ano pa yung ibang hidden meaning dito sa Philippines na literature? Sabihin natin yung Noli Me Tangere. Correct me if I'm wrong, ha? But ginamit yan ni Jose Rizal para mapukaw ang mga Filipino without making any noise, without Jose Rizal went under the friar's nose, the Spaniard's nose. Hindi siya matagal na laman nila na yung Noli Me Tangere ay referring pala sa paano inaabuso ng Espanya ang Pilipinas. So, yan. We also have personification. Ayan. Don't worry, after everything of this discussion or review, mag-quiz tayo ng bongga-bongga. Okay, personification naman. So this is giving human attributes to an animal or object or a concept, but the abstract concept. For example, lightning dance across the sky. Sumasayaw ba ang lightning kagaya ng isang tao magsayaw? Nagtitiktok ba yung lightning? Hindi. My alarm clock yells at me every morning. Sumisigaw ba? May bibig ba ang alarm clock? Hindi. Pero parang nag-yell siya no kasi maingay. Aga-aga nag-iingay. So that is personification, giving human abilities to hindi never to a person, okay? Just animal, object, or a concept. Okay? Dito naman tayo sa hyperbole. So wag kayong ma-confuse kung magkaiba ba yung hyperbole at saka irony. Magkaiba po yan. So, yung hyperbole, it's all about exaggeration. OA. Hyperbole equals OA. Hindi OA na OA ha. OE pala. OE. Overt exaggeration. So, I will die if she asks me to dance. OA. Hyperbole ka. I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. Over, ha? Horse talaga. Ang laki ng horse. Doble sa katawan mo yung horse. Makakain mo yung horse, 'di ba? It's exaggeration. So, if some of you don't understand, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse or I could eat a whole zebra. Iisipin nyo na lang, kakainin yung buong horse. Kaya mo? Kaya mo ba? Ang laki nila. Diba? So, that is hyperbole. Yung irony naman, this is the expression of one's meaning by used language. So, a child runs away from someone throwing a water balloon. Irony, another irony is yung konsepto na yung fireman is nasunugan. So, that is irony. So, I think I have to end this one.